I've been teaching guitar for about 30 years, and I've seen tons of guitar players in their 60s and plus who've been playing for decades and they still feel stuck in the late beginner phase. And what's even more frustrating is that you see this younger generation pick up the guitar at an early age and thrive on the instrument. They really express really cool musical ideas, and what's the deal with these older guys who can't really play? Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'll do even more than that. I'm gonna fix it for you so that you can really thrive on the instrument. We're gonna work with a very simple minor pentatonic lick. We'll use the first position of A minor pentatonic. There's nothing really difficult technically with that lick. The challenge, though, is to make this sound like an advanced player, someone who is more mature. So we'll talk about the technical aspect of doing that in just a second, but first, I need to tell you about something. I need to tell you about my anxiety. Yes, it is relevant. I have struggled with social anxiety for years. It's really difficult for me to get in a situation where I have to make a conversation with someone. It's always been the case. In my teens, I was the same. I was kind of awkward, confident inside, yet as soon as I was facing a group of people, or even one person that I didn't really know, I start feeling very nervous. And what I found is that that anxiety translated to my music. Whenever I played in my bedroom, I sounded fine. But as soon as I had to play something that would be heard, whether it was in a concert setting or a jam, or even record something for someone, my playing started to really suffer. My fingers were not as confident on the fretboard. I would hit some notes and it sounded clumsy, uncomfortable, weak. The bottom line is that what I was playing really didn't reflect what I had inside of me. Through the years, I got a little bit better in those social situations. I got better by preparing myself mentally. And I still have to do that today, but that is really going to help us on the instrument in just a second. So let me give you an example. I do CrossFit 5 days a week. I've been going to this particular gym for about a year. And if someone is watching this from CrossFit DNR, I still feel nervous when I come to class. Everybody is super nice. I love the people over there, but I just have this anxiety in public settings. So before I go to class, I mentally prepare myself. I do some breathing exercises, I also do some stretching, and I mentally imagine what it's going to be like to open the door to the gym, walk into my spot, set things up, who's gonna be here, and it helps. The reason you might still sound like a late beginner and kind of clumsy on the guitar is probably due to some kind of anxiety. So before we pick up our instrument, we're gonna do a few exercises. Remember that lick that I played? Just in case you don't, it was this. It's fresh in your head. I want you to imagine playing that on the guitar. Just close your eyes and imagine what it feels like to trigger these notes on the instrument. Na ba 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 bum. I want you to do that a few times. Breathe in, breathe out. Imagine the sound, the feeling of the strings against your fingers. And then we're going to play a little game. I want you to picture yourself as a very competent guitar player, full of expression, full of mastery of the instrument, who has something really cool to share with someone else. Now, if that thought started triggering a little bit of anxiety, breathe in, breathe out, and just imagine yourself doing that again. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you're facing yourself, delivering that idea, playing that idea. Deep breaths, we're gonna pick up our guitar, and we're gonna play that. But we're gonna adjust our fingers a little bit. I want you to grab the neck of the guitar with your thumb and your fingers. You're really grabbing this. You're not having your fingers straight against the fretboard because that will sound weak and clumsy. I really want you to get a hold of the instrument, feel the instrument in your hand. Now, I want you to play the first note. Because you're holding the guitar in your whole hand like this, your fingers are flat against the strings, which means that you are having a lot of flesh against the string. It's not just the point of the finger, but it's the fleshy part of the finger, and that will create the best tone possible. You also have more control over the vibrato, more feel on the string. If you were just straight against it, you can't do much. Now we're going to add a few other notes. Feel free to play with that string a little bit. Maybe bend it slightly. Add a little bit of vibrato. Really dig into the string with your pick. Don't be afraid of it. Try to extract the emotional juice of every single note you're playing. All right, guitar goes down again. And that's because as soon as you grab the guitar, you start thinking like a guitar player, and that's not always a good thing, especially if you feel stuck in that late beginner phase. So we are going to take that same idea in your head, think about it, ma ba 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 bum, and then imagine playing that in the shoes of anything. Maybe you are on the shoes of someone who is madly in love with someone and proposing to that someone. How would it sound like? What are the things that you can add to make that sound like that character that you're playing in? Maybe intentional playing, a hint of nostalgia by slowing things down a little bit. Maybe a hint of plea in there because you want that person to say yes. Add a little thing at the end here. Why not? Now, there's no right or wrong answer, but it just is very helpful to put yourself in the shoes of someone else delivering that idea. Let's try something else. Maybe you are a cook and you are a little stressed out. Well, that's kind of what we're trying not to be stressed out when we play, but let's imagine you're a stressed out cook because you've got a lot of dishes to deliver and the rest of the crew is not doing their job. So what would that sound like? I don't know. Maybe something like this. It sounds a little different, right? I find it useful to have a list of these different characters, background stories that you can pick from whenever you want to develop that ability to play something and sound a little more mature that you might be. And when I say you, I mean me too. We can all gain from delivering a musical idea with more maturity. Now, this doesn't only work with a lick. It also works with composing. And love this exercise where you have absolutely no guitar in front of you. You can't even see a guitar. Close your eyes and just listen and imagine a song or a melody or a theme and picture yourself playing that. Now picture yourself playing it in the shoes of different characters, these characters that you wrote down. This is super beneficial for your musicality because it will really help you discover who you are as a musician. And there are as many musicians as there are humans. We all have our unique story to say on the instrument. I really do believe that. So it's really half mental preparation, but also half technique. You know, the way that you're wrapping your left hand around the neck of the guitar. That has a lot to do with your delivery. And I'm going to show you how that's done in this video.